Hello everybody. Today is Thursday and we are going to be talking about your brown bin, and we're talking to Shelley from Diversion Green about what we can do about our brown bins and compost generally. Shelley is on a mission to get all of us composting and using the circular economy and getting the compost, putting it back in the soil to create and complete that circle. So Shelley, talk to us today then about your top tips for the brown bin.
Okay, so the brown bin, it's actually quite relatively new in Ireland. I think they rolled it out in around 2011 and 2012. And the idea of the brown bin is to help households and businesses to divert food from going into the back bin to end up in landfill. So the brown bin is here now, and lots of people have them at home. And so my top tips now for the brown bin. So my really big top tip was to actually really decide, does your household need one? If you're a person composting, using a wormery, doing like you've got like cold compost at home, so you really need one. That would be my first thing, because sometimes people have a brown bin and they notice like they're putting little bits in it and it's taking ages to fill up. So if you're one of those people and it's taking a very long time, maybe just figure out you actually need the brown bin. So secondly, if you are a household that actually does need the brown bin, so I would say, once again, like the compost bin, it's kind of about balance as well. If you're doing a bit of gardening at home, a bit of grass cutting, a bit of clipping, it's a good idea to mix in your kitchen green and browns also again with your garden green and browns into your into your brown bin. If you keep filling your brown bin up, it's a 120 litre bin. It's a standard size in Ireland for households, the one size fits all system, which I think doesn't always work either. So you have a 120 litre bin. So if you're constantly putting all your kitchen green and browns into it over a few weeks period, that can kind of build up and get a bit smelly. So very similar to the compost, a bit of balance. If you're popping in some of your kitchen, if you have a bit of newspaper, a little bit of cardboard, or a bit of garden waste, helps to balance it out. Especially coming into summer months again, it can get a little bit stinky, and sometimes you go out to your brown bin and you lift up the lid and all these flies zoom into your face, and that's not a very nice feeling. So the nice way is even a few little bits of leaves. Now this is for people who are living in houses with gardens, so yes, it can be a bit smelly. So for people who are using a brown bin that maybe are living in an apartment, you could use some people put their food waste into a brown bag. That will help to keep down the smell and the flies. Or if you you can use the biodegradable compostable bags. So there's lots of different ways to use your brown bin. So you got to find out, I suppose, to help you figure out the best way to use it suits your needs. If you're a householder with a garden, a little bit of green waste from the garden will help keep it down. And if you're a big gardener, you're going to be filling it up anyway. So I suppose, and then every few weeks or maybe every few months, if you notice it's getting a bit stinky at the end, give it a bit of a rinse. And some the companies do it and some don't. So I think it's good to do it yourself. And then my last tip for it is, before it goes out for collection, if you have to wait a few days, if it's quite a full bin, always put a bit of newspaper or a bit of cardboard or a bit of compostable packaging or a bit of garden waste on the top, just to keep the flies away. And I have one more tip actually. If you have a large family and you're putting a lot of like dinner foods in, it might be a good idea to wrap them up in a little bit of newspaper. Maybe you don't use the biodegradable bags, or you don't use any cardboard. So a little bit of newspaper, if you've got meat scraps especially, because we have lots of animals around at the moment that enjoy your bin. So yeah, they're my top tips for the brown bin.
That's great. Yeah. Well, I suppose I have one of these.
The Obia, yeah.
The Obia. But now there's plenty of these type bags around. Get them from Yuzi, wherever she is. She sells them. There are plenty of places that you can get them. Viva Green, who do moss off, they also do a version of this as well. So this I find is brilliant if I want to put like my food waste, like what I would call my food waste as opposed to like my vegetables, etc. So I would put in
your peeling.
Yeah, like my chicken bones, or say the kids don't eat their crusts and I've got no other place to put them. I might put them in there, bread, that kind of stuff. I mean, what would you say in terms of what can go into your brown bin in terms of?
Okay, yeah. So for your brown bin, I saw the brown bin in Ireland, actually we're quite lucky. It takes nearly everything. So you can take all your peelings from your kitchen. You can take meat. You can take cooked food. You can take a little bit of cardboard, a little bit of newspaper, all your garden waste, anything. So the only thing I wouldn't recommend is people putting like animal products, animal species into the bin, because that can create a lot of smell. There is a bit of a grey area around dog expect. I would recommend putting that in because it's going off to a process to be processed. So it's not. It can be quite attract a lot of bacteria and things. So, but then you can. Some companies do take it, so you need to ring your own company to check do they actually accept that. So each company has a slightly different process, maybe how they treat the brown bin. So yeah, the brown bin is pretty limitless. You can put all your kitchen waste in and all your garden waste. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good.
Well, that's good to know. I think also just checking generally what can and can't go in. A lot of the companies have great information pages up about what can and can't be put in. They're well worth just checking because, like you said, each company is just slightly different.
Yeah, they have slightly different processes. Like in Ireland, all the food, the bread must go off to a big kind of hot sort of facility, and they take it all and they go through it all. They do segregate a bit because sometimes they take out biodegradable bags and it gets turned into a beautiful rich compost. So it's a nice way. It is being returned back, so it's not going off to a landfill or it's not going off to an incinerator. So it's the best option after, I suppose, doing a compost bin or a bucket sheet bin, or wherever it is to do the brown bin if you need to. So yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, great. Okay, thanks very much for that. They were great tips.
Thank
and
you.
if we want to find out more, where's best to go, Shelley? Is it your Facebook page or what's the best?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page. It's Diversion Green on Facebook, and I have a website as well. It's www.diversiongreen.ie, where you can contact me. So you can contact me on either of those sites, and I have lots of different videos and information about food waste and food waste prevention and how to compost and different things like that. So yeah, you can contact me there.
Okay. Okay, great. So we're going to talk to you again tomorrow for our last session of top tips on offices, I believe. So not that we're at our offices yet, but we hope at some point. So it'd be great to kind of get those brown bins going. So we'll talk to you tomorrow.